Hello everyone, welcome back to Ramon at Home. I am Ramon, a Christmas design expert and seasonal decorator here to help you feel more comfortable about your designs. And in today's video, I'm going to share with you 3 fabulous Christmas DIYs that are super easy to make on a budget, and I truly believe that if I can do it, so can you. You guys, we're going to start with a beautiful swag for the front door. You know, I always tell you that you only get one chance to make a first impression, and that is at the front door. We're going to share with you how to create a beautiful Christmas lantern and then also a fabulous mantle that is sure to wow your guests this holiday season. So if you are new to the channel, are interested in Christmas decorating for 2024, please stay tuned. Don't forget to like this video and share with your friends on Facebook, on Instagram, and on WhatsApp. Why? Well, because it is free and it really helps this channel. And if you are already subscribed, don't forget to turn that notification bell on because you will not want to miss the 2024 Christmas decorating season. Are you guys ready? Let's get started. Okay, so now we're gonna start with this beautiful swag for your front door, and I'm gonna show you how to make a statement on your front door this Christmas season. For that, I'm gonna start with a green swag, a teardrop, and I had lightly spray painted it white because it's gonna have some elements of frost. And I'm gonna get started with this ribbon, and you guys know that I like to drop them on the floor and start with a dovetail on the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dovetail this real quick and make sure that looks better than that. Sometimes the scissors don't want to cut properly, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to have all of my tools right here at the ready. I'm going to do a little loop like we always do, and for this particular swag I'm going to do a 2-loop bow, and I'm going to start with this at the top, and I'm going to work my way all the way down. Once you have your loop right here, I really do recommend to have a mason jar with all of your wires already cut up. That way it's faster for you. What you're going to do is you're going to wire this right here, go all the way to the back and twist it real quick. And I'm gonna start with the top right here, and I'm gonna attach it to one of the bristles just by twisting a few times, and I'm gonna leave it like this. So now I'm gonna work my way down, and I wanna make bigger loops because I'm gonna add some really large ornaments to it. So I wanna make sure that I see my ribbon going all the way down, and I'm gonna crisscross from one side to the other. So basically just grab some bristles, twist them around, give it a loop, then go to the opposite side and make sure those loops are probably about 18 inches. And then I'm gonna do one more straight up or down, all the way down. And I'm gonna finish right here. And I'm gonna finish with a slant, because it's gonna look cleaner if you do a slant on the bottom. And now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna bring my silver ribbon and I'm gonna drop it also on the floor, and I'm gonna cut a dovetail on the top. And because this is a smaller ribbon, remember I told you that to create more drama on your swags or Christmas trees or wreaths, what you need to do is you need to have different widths of ribbons. You don't wanna have all 2 inches, 2.5 inches, all 3 inch, or all 4 inch. You wanna have that variation. And so I'm gonna do a 4-loop bow because it is a smaller ribbon. Remember also, the smaller the ribbon or the thinner the ribbon, the less width the ribbon has, the more bows you have to make. And what I'm going to do is I'm gonna introduce this guy right here at the exact same spot. I'm just gonna twist one time, and then I'm going to start doing my loops that we did for the other one. So we're gonna do one right here. Then I'm gonna finish each side. So I'm gonna do one on this side, and I'm gonna twist one right here, and then we're gonna go to the other side. We're gonna do yet another one right here, and what this is going to do, this is gonna give us some girth on the swag. As you guys can see, we went from here, it's gonna be a lot wider, so it's gonna cover more of your door. And so we're gonna finish on a slant as well. So now to do this side, what I'm going to do, first of all, dovetail my ribbon, and always make sure that the pretty side is facing forward because you want to see all that beautiful design or glitter on your swag. So for this particular one, because I'm gonna do one down, I'm gonna do a 3-loop bow, and I'm gonna grab my wire and I'm gonna wire this really tightly like this. And what I'm going to do is I'm gonna introduce this 3-loop bow right here, right in the middle of the swag, going all the way in and twisting into my swag. And so now it looks like it grew from these two right here, right? And so now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna go over to this side. Okay, so now that we have our ribbons laid, and remember we always fluff the ribbons at the end, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna add my selection of ornaments. Let me show you real quick. So I selected a matte ornament on a larger size, then I have a medium size. You have to have that variation of widths. And then also I have this texture one right here to go with our theme. So what I'm going to do is, thankfully this one already comes pre-wired. So what you want to do is you want to grab a spot where it'll show like this right here. You want to grab your wire and just wire it once or twice, and then fluff your ribbons around it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start adding them one by one, because I want to create some clusters of ornaments in this swag. I'll show you what I mean. So I have this one right here. So now I'm going to add another one really close to it to create a cluster. So now I have two. Now I'm going to look for another prominent spot like right here, and I'm going to grab a bristle and I'm going to twist really tightly like this. And then what I want to do is I want to grab another one of these red ones. Now make sure you cut all of your tags. If you are going to make this for sale, or if you're going to make it to give it away, be sure to remove all of the tags, because nobody wants to see those pesky tags. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to bring it over to this side. But as you guys can see, I'm adding two at a time, one of each. And then I'm going to add a third one of these guys over all the way right here, almost to the bottom. And so I'm going to attach by swirling that wire. And then I'm going to grab another one of these. This is going to be our last red one. And I'm going to attach once again over by where I just added one. So this time I want it a little bit further down. So I'm going to grab this right here. That's going to be our last one of that kind. So now I have a few of these larger ones. So to create even a bigger statement, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a branch closer to this red one, and I'm going to fold. And then I'm going to go all the way to the middle again, and I'm going to add this one probably right here, closer to it. The more you cluster together, the more impact it's going to make, and the more fuller it's going to look. Now I have this sweater looking one that I'm going to save to add to the very end, because I want this to be my statement pieces. Now I'm going to grab some stems that show you how to create a beautiful and dramatic door piece for your door this Christmas season. The stems is what makes it pop. Stay tuned. Okay, so I want to start with this beautiful frosted bush. And as you guys can see, it's almost like a cedar that is frosted with glitter. And there is no better frosting than cedar with glitter. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some of these stems. And what I like to do is dip it into my glue right here. And then start inserting right at the top. You have to make sure that it goes into the greenery, because you want it to latch on to that stem. So one by one, what you need to do is start your way at the top and start basically putting some of these in all of the little places where you can still see some of that greenery. And I like to cut one stem at a time, so that way I know that it's going to be balanced. And remember, what happens on the right happens on the left. So I'm going to go over to this side and add one right here. I just burn myself a little bit, but it's all part of the gig. I'm going to do another one right here. And you want to dip this into your glue real quick. If you guys have not used a hot glue pen, I really do recommend it. It makes your job so much easier. As you guys can see, just by using one hand, you can get it all done. So I'm going to add yet another one of these. Look how pretty these are. They just have that glitter glisten. I'm going to add this one right here. So basically, I'm adding some on those holes. I'm going to add this whole one right here. It has a really good stem. So I'm going to add this one, all of it, right here in this big hole. Like that. Look how pretty that is. So now I'm going to grab yet another one. And I'm going to start cutting. It's okay. These stems are so beautiful, and I cannot wait to show you. But meanwhile, I'm going to put it over here. So I'm going to cut right here. You know, a good pair of cutters also, it's so essential. If you are a crafter or DIYer, if your husband has a good pair of of cutters. I really do recommend to go into his tool shed and start digging, girls, because a good pair of wire cutters is really essential for decorating and all the things that we do to make our homes look beautiful. All right, so I'm gonna continue adding some of these cedar in the places where I see that it's missing some oomph, especially the longer ones. You wanna make sure that you give your swag a little height. So what we're going to do is we're gonna add some up here on the top. And just remember, what goes up must come down, and then what happens on the left happens on the right. See, it does have to have all the way around and all the way down. And before I run out of this, I'm gonna add one all the way down to finish it off. So I'm gonna dig into my glue, and I'm gonna go all the way down here. And I'm gonna put it right there so it ends on that glittery. I'm gonna continue adding this and I'll be right back with you. Keep watching. Okay, so we're done with the frosty glittery cedar. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring out some of this really beautiful red stem. And as you guys can see, this one comes flat like this. So if you were to fluff it, there's actually 3 stems to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna cut them individually. And if you do this, you will save yourself some money, because look, you just got 3 picks instead of 1. And so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna start with this large one, and I'm going to add it all the way to the bottom. And this is going to allow us to elongate our swag even further down. And so this time I'm gonna start from the bottom up, but I'm gonna continue my balancing act of what happens on the right happens on the left. See how that one points to my right? So now I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna point to my left. So I'm gonna grab another one. And so now I'm gonna point to my right over here, like that. I'm gonna grab another one. These are so fun to work with, and they're actually very affordable. You can find all of these items here at SHINODA Design Center. I'm gonna leave their phone number down below in case you see something that you like. Just go ahead and give them a call. They'll be really glad to help you guys. So that way you know that everything came from the same place. You don't have to be looking for it. All right, so now I'm gonna add another one right here, like that. Then I'm gonna go up. It's almost like a step ladder. Every time that you insert a new one, you have to go a little bit up, like that. And so I'm gonna do this one on the very top, but I'm gonna cut it a little bit. I feel like if we were to add it all the way to the top, it's way too long and it will run into the door. So what you wanna do is you basically wanna cut into it like this. Then I'm gonna grab my scissors and I'm gonna cut all the way across the stem like this. And look what I did. I just shortened it and I give myself a little stem. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut a little bit of this, like this, and I'm going to add a lot of glue because it's gonna be my topper on the top. And I'm gonna bring it here and go all the way down. Look how pretty, and it goes all the way down. How gorgeous is that, you guys? That's turning out really good. So that's what we're gonna need for the red. I'm gonna put these ones down. And now I have this gorgeous, beautiful, it's almost like a fern, and it's silver and it has a lot of glitter. Once again, I'm gonna show you how to cut it. This is a long stem, it comes like this. So I'm gonna cut right here and I'm gonna make myself one. Wait, I just dropped it, 1 second. And then I'm gonna give myself a third one. So I cut it into 3. I just want a little touch of this. I don't want a lot of it. It's very silvery, but it's gonna give it that frosty feel to it. I'm gonna add right here to the side. You can also grab one of those stems, and look how that just adds a little bit of glitter when it catches the eye. I'm gonna add yet another one, adding some of this glue. I'm telling you, this is a live hack that if you are a crafter, you have to get yourself one. Actually, I'm gonna ask to see if they carry them here at SHINODA. I don't even know if they carry them. But I'm gonna ask the owners to see if they have some here for sale, because I'm telling you, if you are a crafter and if you don't own one of these, well, you're missing out. All right, so I'm gonna add one right here to the top, like that. And then I'm gonna add this one all the way. You know what, it needs one on this side, so I'm gonna add this one over on this side just adding lots of glue. And I'm gonna lift this ornament and just insert it in there. Like that. And so now it has that, but I do feel like I need a little bit more towards the bottom. So I'm gonna cut a longer piece out of this one right here. And this is what's gonna go all the way down onto our swag. Don't pitch those little, I'll show you in a minute. I just shaved a few of them, but I recommend you keep them and add them to your swag. I'm gonna go down here. And so now that's gonna be our last one. I was gonna go ahead and wrap a little bit of a stem on it to double secure it. And that way it's not going anywhere. Look how gorgeous that is. But these cute little shavings, you guys, don't pitch them, just go ahead and add them. You already pay for it. So might as well just go ahead and dip into your glue and find a way to use them. Look, you can just remove a few of these. It's tiny, it's not even that big. But since you already paid for it, why not just go ahead and add it to your swag and add some extra sparkle. All right, so let's recap real quick. The very first thing we did is we spray painted our swag that you cannot even see anymore. But the reason why is because those styles of swags are just to design on. So once you give it a light spray paint, the first thing you want to do is you want to add your ribbons, which I added this candy cane stripe and then this beautiful silver one. Then after that, I added the flat cedar with glitter in it. After that, I added the ornaments in clusters, and I finished with a few picks in red and then in silver. And our last step is going to be to add some of these beautiful poinsettias. And what I'm going to do is I'm gonna get this tag off of it, and I'm gonna fluff, and look how gorgeous these are, you guys. These are to match the Christmas tree that we did in my Spanish channel. If you haven't seen that tree, I'm gonna link it down below so you guys can check it out. It matches perfectly this, but it's in Spanish. It's on my Spanish channel, so I really hope that if you speak Spanish, go check it out. You'll learn a few tricks. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna cut the stem short because that's gonna go onto my swag. Once you fluff everything that is in it, even the little berries in it, you have to be touched. What you wanna do is you wanna dip into your glue as much as you can, and you might wanna dip it upside down like this to let that glue run. And what I'm going to do is I'm gonna add one right here. I'm gonna have to open my ribbons and see a place where this stem can go. So I'm gonna add here, and I'm gonna let it go all the way down into the swag. So I'm gonna do 2 and 1. You remember I told you I like to work with sets of 3s, 2s, and 1s. It is just pleasing to the eye, and it is almost a design rule to work in odd numbers. It is a little bit more appealing to the eye, and it looks more beautiful. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna dip now, and this one I'm going to insert going upside down. So basically that one went down like this, and this one I'm gonna lift this ornament and I'm gonna insert it right here. So there's gonna be 2, and I'm gonna add one last one over here on the bottom. So once again, I'm gonna cut, and then I'm gonna fluff this poinsettia like this, touching everything that has wire in it, and then all of the berries. And I'm gonna look for a spot maybe right here. So dip it into your glue as much as you can, upside down. And then I'm gonna open right here. I'm gonna go over this side. I'm gonna open right here, and I'm gonna go up onto my swag. And look how by going up, it really does bring the attention forward. Okay, so I just want to give you a real quick close-up of this beautiful swag that is going to go on somebody's door. But I just want you to see how beautiful these poinsettias look against all of the greenery, the flocked greenery, and all of the glitter. It really just does glisten. The ornaments, as I mentioned to you, the larger, the better, because they make a statement. And as you guys can see, it was super easy. I hope you give it a try. For our next Christmas DIY, I figured I would show you how to decorate this cute little lantern, and this technique can be replicated for any lantern, any size this Christmas. The things we're gonna need is 2 of the dollar store picks with the silver ornaments. I'm gonna use a pre-made bow 2 of the peppermint picks from Hobby Lobby. I'm also gonna use a candle with a remote. And if you don't have one of these ones, well, you should really invest because they come in handy really, really good. I'm gonna use one of these zip ties and my scissors to get it all put together. So let's get started real quick. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a little swag for the top. And what I wanna do is I wanna measure right here to see how I want it to lay. So once I have it like how I want it to lay, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab my zip tie that I moved and I don't know where I put, it's over here. And I'm gonna zip tie this together real quick, as tight as I can. So having zip ties in your crafting stash is a must-have, and you can find them on Amazon or Home Depot for a whole bunch of them for next to nothing. So I really do recommend you invest on some of them. I cut the excess of it. I'm gonna measure it one more time right here, making sure that you fluff every single item that has a wire in it so you get more bang for your buck. I'm gonna put that aside, and so now what I wanna do is I'm going to bring this bow right here, and I already went ahead and put a long wire on it. Make sure you give it a cute little fluff. Then you're going to insert this bow right in the middle of your swag. And then, oops, you wanna go ahead and just spin it around like this so it's really tight onto your swag. Once you have that like that, what you need to do is go ahead and tie this to the lantern and tie it with your wire as tight as you can by spinning those wires together around just to make sure they really latches on to your lantern. And as you guys can see, there is a longer tail, and I did that intentionally because I want to bring that tail up to make that bow look more elaborate. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and swirl this around this little ornament right here, and then you want to make sure that that point flies away, and that way you got an extra bow like that. And I'm gonna do the exact same thing over here, just by tacking it under the ornament. I have that like this. Oh, that is really cute. Perfect. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab some of these peppermint candy picks, and I'm gonna grab my hot glue gun, and I'm gonna add some glue to them right here to the bottom, and just go ahead and find a place and add those peppermint candies. And as you guys can see, it's very cohesive with the rest of our Christmas craft DIYs that we've done so far for this particular theme. I'm gonna add one more up here, like this, just blending them together. All right, so now what I wanna do is I'm gonna open the door of my lantern, and I'm gonna stick my candle in here, put it right in the middle, and closing that door, fluffing my bows. And I'm gonna turn my candle on like this, and just like that, you have a beautiful, cute little lantern decorated for the holidays. You guys, I could not be more excited to share with you the next Christmas DIY, and we're going to decorate a gorgeous mantle, doing a few things that we've done before and giving you a few new tricks. So let's get started. We're gonna start with some ribbon, and for this I have the 4-inch David Christopher's ribbon with a gorgeous snowflake glitter print and the silver lame back. I already went ahead and gave it a little bit of a slant cut, so I'm going to gather right here. And for this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do loopy big bows. So I want them to be large and in charge. And so one tail, remember, shorter, the other one longer. I think I might have to trim that tail a little bit, but we'll worry about that as we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna wire all of this together with one of my 24 gauge wire. And I have to admit, you guys, for years and years and years, I've been telling you that this wire is gauge 18. Well, guess what? It's 24. Find out the other day we had to go to SHINODA and get some wire. And so Jamison's like, this is not 18, this is 24. Because we had to look for the, I'm looking for my scissors on my pocket. Because we had to look for the box that it comes in. And so I was like, oh my gosh, Jamison, I've been telling people that it's a 24 or an 18 gauge wire this whole time. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna do another one. So I decided that instead of a slant, I am going to dovetail. I really do think that, here's how it goes. 4-inch, I like to dovetail. A 2.5 or a 1.5, I like to put on a slant. depending on the pattern. So for this particular one, what we're going to do is we're just gonna go ahead and grab our ribbon. And remember, we want these bows to be loopy and large because we really want them to show, because we're going to put some elements in, you guys, that I cannot wait for you to see. All right, so I'm gonna grab my wire and I'm going to go ahead and just a little fun fact. We literally just got done doing a live video and I spoke to so many of you and I told you the story about how a lady at work one time told me that less was more, and my reply was no. Less is less and more is more, and I believe and I live by that, you guys. Less is pretty, but more, it's prettier. So that's why I always tell you, I'm giving you permission to go bold, go big, go stunning, because it's the holidays, you guys. We only get one time of the year where our homes can really be so lavish with all of these beautiful items. And so why not, instead of doing, like I told you earlier, instead of doing 2 dovetails, you can do 4. Instead of doing 2 loops, you can do 4. Like I told you that other week too, 2 hands work faster than, no, 4 hands, I still say it wrong. 4 hands work faster than 2, and 4 eyes can see more than 2. Right, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to dovetail right here. So I'm just adding these bows and letting these tails like this just be wherever they want to be. I'm going to do yet another one, and I'm going to start by dovetailing one more time. I'll show you real quick. I'm going to do this, and then we're going to pinch, giving me a tail. I like to go under with my more dominant hand, which is the right. I pinch, gather, and then I twist. And you know, for this one also be pretty if one loop was white with a glitter and the other one was silver. And I wish I would have thought about that, but I didn't. So now I have to finish them all white, which is good because we have an accent ribbon that we're going to add that is all silver. And I'm always also telling you to have all of your tools at the ready, because it really makes your job way easier than if you don't. So I'm gonna add this guy right here, like this. I'm gonna grab my scissors and I'm gonna cut right here. Now leave it like that. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna repeat the same with this beautiful 2.5 silver ribbon. And what I'm going to do for this one is I'm going to cut at a slant. Like I told you, if it is a 2.5 or a 1.5 inch ribbon, I do like to cut at a slant. And then also I'm going to do like a longer tail for this one, because remember I told you that I'm giving you permission to be a little bit more dramatic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a 3 loop bow. And remember, because I want them really fluffy, remember to make your loops different sizes, so that way you get more texture. So I'm gonna go like that. I'm gonna grab my wire and I'm wire all of this together, and I'm going to start right here in the middle. Right here in the middle. Grab your bristle, grab your wire, twist that wire into the bristle, and see how that just gave you all of the loops and the tails. And then bring your loop right here. And what I'm going to is I'm actually going to do yet another loop, attaching this bristle right here. Be sure to have fun when you do this. There is no rhyme or reason, as long as you are following the directions. What happens on the right happens on the left. What goes up must come down. But you can always change the rules, you guys. The rules were only placed to be broken. So I am also giving you permission to just break the rules when it comes down to decorating, because you will have more fun, I promise you, than if you're just trying to make it perfect, because perfection does not exist. Somebody just say the word perfect, but the truth of the matter is that Mother Nature never did once perform perfection. And so why are we trying to do it? And Jameson just gave me direction. Come here, Jameson, and show people what you just did. Just show people what you did. So he's my scene director nowadays, and so come here. He's gonna show you. No, bring the Bible. So he's trying to direct my scenes, and so what you do?
Trying to send a little message to put your scissors on a book over here so it's quieter instead of them being always making sound.
I'll try to do that. He also actually the other day, thank you. The other day he gave me a little pad, and I put it to the side, and instead of using it, I just continue to pile things on it. And before I knew it, I couldn't find the little pad. which I thought it was hilarious. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and add this right here. And because this is very self-explanatory, you guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish all throughout and I'll be right back to give you the next step. So keep watching. Okay, so now that we finished all of our bows, and as you guys can see, they are really big and loopy and in charge, and they cover a lot of our garland, and I absolutely love that because that way I'm going to be using less ornaments when it comes down to decorating. So by adding the ribbons like this, you save yourself a few bucks in your ornaments. But so also want to mention, I have all of my ornaments here, and I want to also mention, like I always do, these are your best friends. They're from the dollar store, and look, you can just gather all of your ornamentations you're going to be using. They are in the same place, and I'm gonna get going. So I'm gonna grab one of the large ones like this right here, and I'm going to add by twisting my wire. Now me and Jameson have pre-wired all of this, and I'm always telling you that that is like the best thing you can do because it'll save you so much time, especially if you are a designer and decorator, if you are in people's homes. If you show up with all of your materials already pre-wired, you guys will see how easy it really is to decorate anything, and your clients are going to love you because, well, your time is their money. So my ex-boss used to say, you're only as good as you're fast. You have to be fast, but it also has to be gorgeous because people expect nothing less than gorgeous, but we have to move it along. He used to say to me, move it along, move it along. He actually hated when I asked questions because he was always like, move it along, move it along. Sometimes, you guys, we decorate 6 homes in one day. There were long days, the holiday season at that flower shop, but I could not do it. Now it's like what he used to say, it gets in your blood, and it really does. Decorating does get in your blood. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the brushed nickel silver ones, and actually this reminds me of didn't we come up with what it was? Brushed stainless steel. Have you ever seen that brushed stainless steel countertops? This is exactly what it looks like. This is from Hobby Lobby, and unfortunately every year you guys only get a few boxes, so I'm collecting them because I want to get to the point where I can do a whole tree, a tinsel tree with these ornaments, but unfortunately they only bring a few of them every year. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach one right here. Every place where I placed a big ornament, I'm going to attach another one to kind of start creating my clusters. Somebody did leave a comment the other day asking me if I did clusters. And yes, I do clusters, but I feel like if you do it individually, you can control what you're doing a little bit better than if you cluster them all together. There is a few videos coming up where I did use the clusters, especially the home tour, because sometimes making a big cluster of ornaments and just placing it on a branch, it is so beautiful. But for this particular one right here, what I like to do is just grab another branch and put it somewhere near where that one is, and look, it'll just stay there. So I'm gonna continue adding this particular ornament somewhere near the other one just by twisting that wire like this. I'm gonna put this guy over here. Sorry if I'm giving you my back, but like I said, you're just as good as you are fast. All right, so now I'm gonna grab some of these white ones. Now, this mantle right here, can you see this? Okay, so let me move that. So this mantle right here is to go along with our beautiful white flocked Christmas tree. If you have not seen that Christmas tree, actually, you know what? Let me give you a real quick peek to it. All right, you guys, so here is the end result on this beautiful monochromatic white snowy flocked Christmas tree. Look how absolutely gorgeous and simple this tree is, but it is so elegant. Let me give you a close-up of these beautiful white poinsettias with all of the micro sequins in it, the beautiful jeweled ribbon that is just a little touch. This reflective disco ball ornament is so pretty. And then the ribbon, you guys, look how absolutely gorgeous the ribbon is with the snowflake on it. This is super easy to create if you just follow these simple steps. Remember, number 1 is to add your ribbons. Number 2, your ornaments. Number 3, stems, picks, and florals. And number 4, your accent ribbon and accent ornaments and monogram. Why not? I cannot wait to read your comments, so let me comment down below and let me know what do you think about this beautiful snowy white Christmas tree. Wasn't that tree just absolutely gorgeous? Well, this is the mantle to match, and I really hope that you have not seen it, go check it out because the step-by-step instructions really do help to create a gorgeous Christmas tree like that. All right, so I'm gonna grab these white ones now, and what I want to do is I wanna do 2 of them. Instead of just adding one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add two of the same every time that I add an ornament. So I'm gonna add one right here. Immediately, I'm gonna grab another one and just add another one. And this is gonna start filling in this garland. Look how absolutely lush this looks with just ornaments. So I'm gonna add one right here on the top. And then immediately I'm gonna grab another one. And you guys, can you believe these ornaments are from the dollar store? Me and Jameson went to the dollar store and a few of them, and we grabbed all of the ones they had because I cannot believe they're only $1. They're so pretty. They look like milk glass. They're made out of plastic, but you guys remember the hobnail pattern on the milk glass, which is my favorite? That's what this reminds me of, and so I just absolutely love them. All right, so now I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna put one right there, and really fast, just add another one right here. And for this one to end it, what I'm going to do, so I'm gonna add one all the way in the bottom, right here, to kind of end that pattern right there. So I'm gonna do the same over on this side. I'm going to move along over here, which reminds me to, next time we go to Hobby Lobby, Jameson, remind me to stop at their dollar store so that we can check out for more of these. Even though I did get a bunch of them, I do want to have this available. So there's two, and then I'm gonna grab my last one, and like I said, I'm just gonna grab my garland over on this side and add it all the way to the bottom right here. How absolutely stunning is that, you guys? And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my disco balls, which I absolutely love, and these are going to be sprinkled throughout my garland. So I'm going to add one right here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab another one and put it all the way to the bottom right here to make sure that our pattern continues all throughout our garland. And look, you guys, how absolutely stunning this looks. So I'm gonna grab this guy right here, and I'm gonna go in here and add this. Okay, so we have 2 steps left. I'm gonna grab my Pix fluorescent stems, and I'll be right back with you. Keep watching. All right, so if you've been following this channel for any period of time, you know that I have a 4-step process, and that is ribbons first, ornaments second, stems, picks, and florals third, which is what we're about to do. And then at the end, we like to add an accent ribbon or accent ornaments, those accent things that really make your design to really stand out. So I'm gonna start by adding some of these beautiful poinsettias, and like I told you, we're going to be adding white and red. So I love these ones from David Christopher's. They're the ones that we cut and retaped. They are absolutely stunning. So I'm gonna start with one right here. And for this particular design, you guys, I kind of want them to pop out because I want this garland to be as thick and lavish as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open them up. And also remember that David Christopher's does give you 10% off on all of your purchases with the code Ramon10. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one right here. I'm going to go right here and add another one, but more like towards the middle, like that. And kind of make sure that you face them not forward, but you give them some character. So that is more beautiful and appealing to the eye than if you just put all of them facing forward like they're looking and staring at you the whole time. So that's why you also don't want to open them too wide. You want to make sure that those petals have some character to them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another one right here, but this one I'm going to put right here to the side and making sure that I go through all of my garland to stand out. Then I'm going to repeat with another one over on this side, and this one also I wanted to just pop off. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna put it right here. Remember, what happens on the right happens on the left. What goes up must come down. So we have to continue repeating that in our mind till it's all engraved, tattooed in our brain. So that way, when we're decorating well, you're gonna become so fast. Just keep watching this YouTube channel, and I'm gonna make a designer out of all of you. I promise you, you will be able to have a career in this like I am. That is my main goal, you guys, to hopefully entertain you, inspire you, teach you, and motivate you to do it yourself. So I really hope that I'm doing my job. And I just love hearing the stories when you guys tell me that you're out decorating, that you love to make centerpieces or wreaths for sale because you watch the channel. That really warms my heart. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna bring a pop of red right here. Look at that. Just that pop of red really changes the look of an all white garland. And I'm going to be honest with you, I really wish that I would have thought about the red poinsettias when I was decorating the Christmas tree. It was frosty and it was super elegant and glam, but I think that the red, when I did the wreath, the match, if you guys have not seen that wreath video DIY, I'm also going to link it down below. When I did that wreath, it was just absolutely stunning. So, all right, so I'm gonna add this guy right here. So I don't know if you noticed, but what I'm doing is I'm going in between the white ones. That's where I'm going to put the red ones. So for our last poinsettia, what I'm going to do is once again, just touch every single petal. And remember, what happens on the right happens on the left. So what I'm going to do, so I'm going to open the petals and then I'm going to make sure that I go about the same area on the other side, making sure that that poinsettia sticks right there. And look at that. So now we have all of that red going throughout our garland. I'm gonna get those flyaways ready. You guys know that it's not a Ramon at Home original unless it has those flyaways. I'm gonna get those ready and I'll be right back with you. Keep watching. Okay, so let's do a real quick recap. First of all, we added all of our loopy bows with this beautiful David Christopher's ribbon and then also our beautiful silver accent ribbon. After that, I added the big ornament, then the Polish nickel or stainless steel ornament, then our fabulous disco balls that really make this garland look lavish and full. Next, we added the white poinsettias and then I added the red poinsettias going in and out on the garland. So now we got to my favorite part of designing for Christmas, which is the flyaways. And for this, I selected these beautiful frosty flyaways and I'm gonna start by adding one right here on the corner. This is, you guys, where you're going to really see your design come alive. And I'm gonna put them down. So remember, what happens on the left happens on the right. So we're gonna start at the ends first. And once again, I do apologize if you see my back side because I have to make sure that I put it where I want it so it stays. Then what I'm going to do is I'm gonna go up one. So right here by my silver bow. Then I'm gonna repeat right here, making sure that they face about the same size. So I'm gonna put one right here. And look how much girth this is giving your garland, you guys. What you could do at this point is attach a bristle and go around it. So I'm gonna go right here. Going down now because remember that everything that goes up must come down. I'm gonna repeat the same over on this side, right about the same height. We're going to be like this. And this is what is giving that depth and dimension to your design right here. So I'm gonna add one right here in the middle. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna add my frosty fern. And for this, I want to be very generous because it's what's going to really tie it all together. So I'm gonna start right here. I'm gonna go one up, one down. And I just wanna mention once again, all of the girth that you have gained with this fern. Look at that, all you have to do is place it and then what goes up must come down. So go ahead and place one going up and one going down like this. Once again, if you want to attach it, you can always put a bristle around it to make it stay. I'm gonna go over to my ends right here. I'm gonna bring this ribbon tail up. I put one right here, immediately move to the other side because that way it'll allow you to do the exact same balancing act on each side. So now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna put one right here, like this. And I'm gonna go and put one right here on the end. We've gone to almost the end of this beautiful garland. I added all of my flyaways and look how absolutely thick this is. I just love the way this looks. It is so rich looking and that pop of red really screams holiday. So now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna add my accent ribbon and you know that I am obsessed with this bejeweled ribbon from Fairy Silk and I cut in little strips and just make one loop bow, but it has enough jewels to catch the light. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna select some places where I want this ribbon and because it already has the wire, what I'm going to do is just grab a bristle and then spin it around and look at that. It just adds so much pizzazz, so much glam and that touch of holiday sparkle to it. And all you have to do if you already have it pre-wired is, well, attach that wire that you already have to a bristle somewhere like this right here. Look at this. Just by adding that little touch of beautiful sparkle, it is so beautiful right here. All right, you guys, so now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna give this a quick fluff and I'll come back and share with you the end result. Keep watching. All right, everyone, so here is the end result on this absolutely stunning garland. First of all, I love the little monogram and the Kindle sticks right here. They add a lot of touch of sparkle to this whole design. And the pop of red, you guys, is what I want to talk to you about. Isn't that just absolutely gorgeous? Can you believe those poinsettias are almost 10 years old? They still look fabulous. But I just love the way this looks. As you guys can see, it is super easy to make, and if you follow the steps, you too can have an absolutely gorgeous garland, Christmas tree, and wreath this year. What do you guys think? All right, you guys, so this is it for today. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I cannot wait to read your comments. So be sure to leave me a comment down below and let me know what was your favorite Christmas DIY decoration idea on this video. And if you want to see more Christmas decorating, I'm going to put a playlist right here for you to continue to be inspired. You guys, there's still so much more coming for the Christmas season 2024, and I really hope that you are as excited as I am. Thank you guys so much for watching. Consider subscribing, and until next time, you can watch more videos right now. Bye.